On this episode of 126, Boat Update, what has been fixed and what has gone wrong. We talk water pressure and hot water and how quiet the Regal 38 is. We complete a series of tests on the water. We tell you our opinion of Garmin and AIS. Hint, maybe go back to the drawing board. Scott tries to dock our boat. I squeeze myself under a bed. And in the Laz, someone reinvents the boat hook and the inside of our boat becomes a war zone. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Here we go. Welcome back from 126. We are on the water, finally. We've actually done a night on the boat since we last put up a video, so we have some feedback. Also wanted to give everybody an update in terms of where we are in terms of things going wrong with the boat. Because that was the whole point of this video series, is take viewers from the building of the boat to taking delivery of the boat, and then finally dealing with all the issues that you deal with a new boat. That's the reality of it. This is not a car, this is a hand-built, bespoke item, and you're going to have issues with it. Now, to take you back to the initial items that were found when we did our first walkthrough, if you click on the link in the upper corner, we're gonna take you back to the initial items that were found on the boat. There were some gel coat issues, some cosmetic issues. All of those issues were resolved by the time we dropped the boat in the water, in fact, well ahead of time. So AMPM Marine and Regal did an absolutely fantastic job to take care of those kind of issues. What issues have we experienced since we got the boat on the water? Well, a couple of things. From a Navtronic standpoint, we've needed a new AIS box. The first AIS box failed. We needed a new cable from the Psionic system down to the network, so that needed a new network cable as well. And then the weather sensor on the top, the Airmar 200, we needed a new one of those sensors. So just on the Navtronics, now keep in mind, we put in all of those brand new. We needed all of that to be replaced. In terms of the boat, there's been some little minor issues here and there, but there's been one major large issue, and that is with the air conditioning systems. To be honest with you, this is a situation that I can't blame Regal for, because Dometic is the one that created and put in, oh, I didn't put in the systems, but they made the systems. So this boat has the new Dometic air conditioning and heating system. It's not only a variable speed air handler, but it is also a variable speed compressor, which is supposed to save energy and everything like that. To be honest with you, from what I've heard so far, this system is a work in progress, which is great, but the reality is that 2 of the 3 systems on board our boat do not work, and the 3rd system only works partially. We've been working with Dometic, we've been working with Regal, we've been working with AMPM Marine, and everybody is working as hard as they can to solve the issues. But as of today, week and a half before we set out on a month-long trip, we don't have really any heating or air conditioning on the boat. What's happening is one of the systems wouldn't even hold Freon, so obviously somewhere during the transportation phase, the boat coming up here, there was an issue with that. And then the other 2 systems, it has to do with the water temperature up here is currently like 52 degrees. Apparently the systems are freaking out, and there needs to be a software update. In some cases, there needs to be the systems actually replaced, and et cetera, et cetera. The Dometic service company up here, believe it or not, had just gone to schooling for this new air conditioning systems before coming out the day that we ended up putting the boat into the water. Because when we put the boat in the water, we realized, hey, none of the systems are working correctly. They're all tripping off. One of them wasn't coming on. It was kind of a mess. So that's been about 2.5 to 3 weeks now. Can I blame Regal for this? Absolutely not. Dometic is the one that rolled out this system, but these are the things that you have to deal with on new boats. Dometic rolled out a new system. They thought it was going to be a great system, and then all of a sudden they start putting in boats. Boats are put up into waters that are a little bit warmer perhaps than when they tested them, I mean cooler, and they're having all sorts of issues. So we're going to keep you posted on that. So we've done it overnight on the boat. Now, we haven't been able to go very far, and that's because there's been a little minor issue with a little boat called the Dali, which has kind of hit a big bridge and caused the bridge to fall down, so we've been kind of held hostage here in the port of Baltimore. So we actually took the boat down to another small marina, Lighthouse Point Marina, which was absolutely fantastic, in order to, what I call, stress the systems. Some of the things that we've learned about the boat. First of all, storage. It's the first boat that we've ever been on, and it could be that because of the boats we've had in the past, we know what to buy and what we don't know how to buy, but I gotta be honest with you, it's the first boat that we've ever had that we haven't filled it up yet. I mean, underneath storage, the bed, it's completely empty, and half the storage compartments on the boat are about half to 3/4 full. Now keep in mind, we have defibrillators, we have let's see, we have defibrillators on board, we have a 4-person life raft on board, we have a 9-foot tender on board, we have a 2.5 horsepower Suzuki engine on board, and with all of this stuff, we still have room to spare on this boat. It's just amazing how much storage there really is on this boat. The second thing I would say about this boat that totally impressed us was how quiet it was. Now we're going to go out today and we're going to do a couple of sea trials for as much as we can do. Get the boat up on plane, and we're going to do some decibel readings at the helm here, because I'm curious to see from the boattest.com and also from the Regal data how that has changed with the new doors that Regal put on the 38XO. So we're gonna take that measurements as well as there's been some discussions in the industry and that sort of thing that putting bottom paint slows your boat down and all this kind of stuff. So we have half fuel, half head tanks filled. We have full water on board. We have all of our stuff on board, so it's obviously a heavy boat. So we're going to go out and run the boat and see how our performance numbers vary from the factory numbers. Water pressure. Okay, water pressure. The water pressure on this boat is probably some of the best water pressure, even compared to our 100-foot Bravo, and that had 25 gallon per minute pumps. Absolutely amazing water pressure. But there's a problem with that, and that is this. With the amount of water pressure that you have, if you go into the shower and you turn the shower on full bore and you're just getting this like massive pressurized water hitting your body, it's fantastic, and then about 2 minutes later you run out of hot water. Yeah, so we thought initially that it was because Regal didn't put a big enough water heater on board, but we kind of figured out that it wasn't the water heater was the problem, it was because we were going full bore on the pressure. If we take the pressure down by about half to 3/4, you're getting a nice 10 to 15 minute hot shower with still hot water to spare. So that was just a little technique that we ended up having to come up with in order to make showering enjoyable. But all in all, our overnight, it was really quite comfortable on board. So we just did a cruise run, which cruise in this I would say is 4,500 RPM, and we got 30.5 knots, which I'll convert over to miles per hour here in a second, and we'll compare it against what Boattest and Regal came up with. But and then we are at 70 decibels, which I know is a few decibels quieter. So at cruise power, 4,500 RPM, this boat is only at 70 decibels. I gotta be honest with you, that's normal conversation voice. You hear a rumble in the background, but that's about it. So we're gonna try a full power run right now and see what kind of performance we get. Here we go.
Keep it running. I'm gonna keep it running.
Yeah, keep it running. All right. So let's see what we get. It's 5,500 RPM. We're still accelerating. We're at 37 knots. And we are going into the wind. We have about a 10, 15 knot wind and into the seas right now. So we're at about 38.1 at full power run. And I'll turn it around and we'll head back the other way to get a different, the same, to get with the tailwind to see what we get there. So here I'm going to bend around this is the fun part, Scott.
Great.
Okay, hammer down. Let's see what we get. Now right now, at full power, only getting 75 decibels. That's it right now, between 73 and 75 decibels. Now we're going over our own wake here. Let's see what she did. She's at 39.5. She is building power. She's sitting right at 39. Let me see if I can't.
Oh, we hit 40.
Ah, there's 40. Not bad.
Yeah.
.5 is what I just got.
Watch it, ducks get shallow there.
Yeah, I'm gonna whip it around here in a second. No, pretty impressive. Look at me. Huh. So we got a 2-foot wake coming, so let's see what the Seakeeper does. So this is about a 2-foot wake coming to us, right to a beam. So let's watch outside here and see what happens. So this is our own wake. It's freaking amazing. Now the bow's going up and down, but we're not rolling at all. That's pretty amazing. Yeah. Pretty cool, huh? Okay, so we just did our performance run comparisons with our boat, which is kind of heavy because we have a tender on board, we have half fuel, half diesel, full tank of water. According to Regal's performance data, at 4,500 RPM, we should be getting 36 miles per hour. Now they had a fairly light boat, so at 36 miles an hour. We were at, let me pull my data up, we were at 34.5 miles an hour. So we were 1.5 miles per hour off of their test information. Now, some people can attribute that to us having bottom paint. It could be heavier. Looking at their test data, they just had a bare bones boat with nothing on it. So I would probably say we have, probably conservatively speaking, you know, another 600 to 700 pounds worth of stuff on board. So the whole bottom paint taking away some performance, I mean, 1 mile per hour, if you want to talk about, maybe that's taking a hit from you, maybe. The interesting one though is the boattest.com, and they were at 4,500 RPMs at 34.8 miles per hour. That's what they recorded. And again, they recorded 34.8. We were at 34.5, and they did not have bottom paint. So if you want to compare their test results to our test results, they're about the same. What is interesting here is the fact that with the new door in the back, we recorded around 70 decibels at 4,500 RPM. Boattest.com reported 73 decibels. So it's a full 3 decibels quieter in this boat when we're running at 4,500 RPMs, which is typically our cruise speed. So we're underway now. Just wanted to show you this, how Garmin presents the AIS data. You can see all these little triangles that are flashing at you are all AIS targets. Now,
so what is AIS? And how's it going to help us stay safe in the shipping lane? Since the year 2000, the population of the world has been able to access timing signals from the US military satellites. Triangulate your position using those satellites and you know exactly where you are anywhere on the Earth. Feed that information into a suitable chart plotter and you can see your position relative to other objects on the chart. Essentially, that GPS information is just a small text message, and these days we're exchanging text messages by the million. So if I could text other ships my position, they could plot my position on their chart plotters. Automate the texting process using some kind of computer and send the text messages using a couple of spare VHF channels from the ship's existing VHF systems and feed those text messages into your chart plotter. Refresh that information every few seconds and you can work out direction and speed of your vessel and all the other vessels. The chart plotter can even work out if there's a likelihood of collision and provide a warning. Combine your transmitter unit with your AIS receiver and your GPS receiver into one box and you get an AIS transponder.
Targets. Now, with the Garmin radar, with the Phantom radar, I don't know if this is specific to the Phantom radar, but you can actually see the AIS target, how it's painting the actual boat and it's overlaying the AIS information there. Now, one thing I do not like is right now we have the alarms off and you see all these AIS targets and every single time one of them would pop up. It's one of the things I do not like about the Garmin setup is it would give you the beep, 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 beep. So I'm going to turn the collision alarm on at this point. And then all of a sudden, if we had the audible alarms on, you would be getting this AIS. AIS target was lost. And you're constantly going up here every single time it detects either a new AIS target or it's losing a target, which is absolutely ridiculous. We go to always off. See, here we go. We just got another one up here. You know, here's AIS target was lost. Yes, and it goes on both, and you have to hit yes on both. It's just, you know, Garmin, you need to do a better job with this. If anyone has any pull with a Garmin, the way they do AIS and the integration is absolutely terrible. And because what you just do is you just turn the alarms off because you're tired of getting beeped all the time and all these notifications. And when the notifications come up, it like almost freezes your screen for a second. It's just really terrible. Now, with the new Autopilot that Yamaha has, which is located right down here, we currently have the boat on heading hold, which you can see here, where heading hold is shown up here, right there. One of the benefits of the joystick system by Yamaha now is you can steer the boat from the joystick. Scott, go ahead and do that. If you notice, Scott put in a 5-degree starboard turn and the boat is turning starboard to the starboard side. That's why it's important to have the joystick in a good position like Regal has put it, because it literally follows right by our hands while we're underway. All right, Scott's part of this today. So Scott has never come in on a joystick boat. He has only driven Bravo, which was just slightly different than this. So right now we're on stay point, which is keeping the boat in position. So it's really a great feature because you can hit stay point, go out, take care of all your fenders, get all your lines in place, and then get ready to come into the dock. So as you can see here, the engines are moving all around and they're in various gears and that sort of thing in order to hold our position. And you can make it as aggressive or as not as aggressive as you want, but depending upon the conditions. By on the side of the joystick, which is located right here, there's a plus and minus button, and that increases or decreases. So Scott, all right, take it away. Hit the joystick button. See the joystick button? Okay, so stay point's now off, and now you can control the boat via the joystick. Now, if you can see, hit the little button plus minus on the right-hand side. Okay, this is what I was talking about where it's the stay point. the power. Go ahead and hit it again. So we're at thrust limit. Probably 2 would be good for today going into our dock. There we go. So let's cross our fingers that he doesn't do any damage. But I have full confidence in him. All right, so he's bringing us into our slip, which is located right there. This is rather difficult slip to get into because it's kind of hard to see with the water, but if you kind of look, the water's kind of hauling butt that way right now. So he's coming in here nice and slow. Just little thrusts, and you'll make a big difference. As you can start to see now, it's just little bitty movements. Makes a big difference. Because see, what I would have done is brought us a little bit farther over there, closer to the docks, because it's not giving you a lot of space to get your bow around.
Gotcha.
Okay? So you needed to be more that way.
Yeah.
That made sense.
Back it up.
Just back it up a little bit. And then you can always bring your nose back over here and then restart the whole process. It's one of the things I say all the time is there's nothing wrong with backing away and then starting it back up again, starting your approach back up again, instead of pushing a bad situation. So that's our slip right there. So now, in this case, he's got plenty of room against the buildings over here, so he's not going to affect them. So Scott's coming in, and this is our slip right here. Okay. Now back it straight up. Okay. Nice and easy. So everything is done slow. You never want to go back faster than you want to hit the dock. So everything is done slow, and it's momentum management, just nice and slow. You have to give the boat time to react. It's not like a car. Looking good. Going down on the swim platform. I think he did pretty darn good. Okay, so where can Regal improve? So I hope the engineering department at Regal's looking at this, but the freshwater pump. So Regal has all this space on board, and this is where they put the freshwater pump. I am inside of the Ford V-berth bed. As you can see, it's lots of storage down here. I'm actually sitting down here. And there's a hole in the floor to give you accessibility to the bow thruster, which is located right there, right? So where is the freshwater pump? The freshwater pump is, you can kind of see this, it's way back in there. There's absolutely no way you can work on that pump without pulling it off the wall, because the bow thruster's in your way. You know, there's so many other places they could have mounted this pump. I'm just surprised they put it down there, but yeah, not the best location for that, Regal. So we're down here in the Laz, and so this is our 2.5 horsepower Suzuki outboard, and this all the way under here is a 9-foot inflatable true tender. I'll show you the pictures of it sitting in our family room. Totally blown away by this inflatable tender. This is not like your you know, Amazon special blow-up tender. This is the real deal. We put it to a tune of something like a Coast Guard inflatable, rigid inflatable, without the aluminum bottle, obviously. But Regal engineers, so the two pumps that you're most likely going to have to change on board is your freshwater pump, which I just showed you up in the bow thruster, and the second one is your raw water pump for your air conditioning system. Now, as I've showed you before, the room in here is absolutely massive in terms of wall space. They could have put this just about anywhere. But where did Regal put it? So kind of hard to see. Let me turn the light on here for you. So this is our Reverso Reverso fresh water rinse for the engines. And the raw water pump for the air conditioning system is all the way back there. I mean, really? So 2 episodes ago, we brought to you the Fender Techs fenders from PYI out in Seattle. And I introduced those fenders to another friend of mine who is a boater as well, sent him the website, and he shot me an email back. He said, Roger, you should really check out this. And it was a boat hook. And what I'm holding in my hand is a 6-foot boat hook, believe it or not. And this is made by PYI again. I got to give my props to them. Nowhere would I have thought of reinventing the boat hook, but they did it, and they did it really, really smartly. So, I know he's pushing your hand. Show Charlie. Show Charlie. Hi, Charlie. Hi, Charlie. Okay. Charlie. He's like the biggest boat dog in the world, but doesn't know what to do with it. So anyhow, so this is the boat hook from PYI. So this is what it looks like. I mean, you're like, what in the world is that? Is that a boat hook? It is. Wait until you see this. Watch this. This is really, just really ingenious, I think. So.
Oh, hang on, got a dog again.
Oh, hang on, Charlie. So here we go. Charlie.
You need some attention, buddy.
Okay.
First
right.
day on the boat, always exciting.
So here's boat hook. You ready for this? Watch how this works. And now you have your 6-foot boat hook. Check it out. There you go. Pretty amazing. Oh, you want to see it up close? So this is the little attachment here, and the fender portion. And then it's made of like a plastic carbon fiber material. So it comes down to this, and then you have your nice handle, like a neoprene handle on it. It's very sturdy. And then to take it back off, you simply press the little button here, rotate that, and then just literally pull it apart. Now that is a pretty ingenious idea, I gotta say. Pretty amazing. Made by PYI. Well, that doesn't look fun. Okay, quick update. So it's great to have Dometic here. These are some of the things you just kind of gotta get used to when you own a boat, especially a new boat. These kind of issues are gonna work itself out. But so they have found that obviously they're replacing one unit, as you just saw. I kept telling them the second unit was bad, and they found out this morning that sure enough the second unit was bad as well. And I've kind of said to them, look, you've had 2 physical issues with the air conditioning systems. Why not replace the third one as well? So I think they're going to do that. It's just one of the things in our aviation businesses, when you have 2, I don't know if they got a bad batch or whatever. That there's 2 issues here. One is a software issue, the fact that the air conditionings were really not set up to work in this kind of environment. Now it's not like we're in Alaska or anything. The water is only 50 or 52 degrees, so Dometic should have kind of tested this a little bit better and looked colder temperatures. I guess we're just kind of like right on the border, but we are taking this boat up north, and I have no doubt that the boat's, the water's gonna be, colder. But yeah, so I'll keep you guys posted. But I think they're gonna end up putting 3 units in. So yeah, thanks for watching. Keep you posted. Okay, quick update. So the guys just left the boat here a few minutes ago, and I just heard that they've gone ahead and made the decision, Dometic went ahead and made the decision to replace all of the last 2 air conditioning systems. One we know has failed, the other one had not failed, but I just felt like it wasn't working correctly. I really think that they want to get these units back, take a look at what, if they had a production problem. Again, these things happen. So like, for example, I just bought a new car 2 months ago, and it's been in the shop twice. And the car that I have, they produce more cars in an hour than Regal does of these boats in a year. So that kind of puts things in a little bit of perspective. So you just have to roll with these kind of punches when you buy a new boat. It's one of the challenges of either whether it be a new boat or a used boat. We've had these kind of issues before, because almost all the boats that we've owned in the past we've refurbished or refit, and you have these kind of issues. You just got to kind of roll with it and allow the manufacturers to work the problems and allow the vendors to work the problems. And that's what we did here, is just kind of allow them to work the problem, come to the conclusion that I think personally was the right decision, which was, hey, we're going to replace all 3 units. So the other 2 units will be in sometime next week. We're going to make sure, Dometic said to us that they're going to make sure that the software is up to date and prior to leaving the factory, so they don't have to come back out and reflash everything. So it's all good news. This is kind of what we were expecting to have happen, but again, you have to allow them to come to a conclusion on this. On our next episode of From 100 to 26, we load up the boat for a month-long trip. Baltimore, Cape May, New York City, Block Island, Newport, Rhode Island, just to name a few. Come along with us for the adventure. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Your support means the world to us.